Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So today we will be discussing that why you should learn JavaScript, or more specifically why it should be your first programming language. So without further ado, let's start the discussion. So today's video is having something different format. So today we'll discuss only about theory or only about something which can help you in your future. So let's see what actually we are covering today. So we'll discuss how to choose your first programming language, why the first language you learn should be simple. We'll discuss JavaScript versus Java and JavaScript versus C++, which two are the most commonly used languages by beginners, JS popularity and the community, and a lot. So what programming language you choose totally depends on what you want to do. So if you want to do web development, you will probably go with JavaScript. If you want to write code for microprocessors, you'll go for C++. Or if you want to write code for a software which is for self-driving cars, you will probably go for Python. Here, JavaScript won't be a good choice, but I'll assume that you want to go into web development, or you want to make the softwares which are required by web or which are being served on web. So I'll assume that we need JavaScript for that, and I'll try to convince you why you actually need to learn JavaScript. So let's discuss what makes it different, what makes JavaScript different from other languages, and what makes it perfect for your first language to be JavaScript. So the first point which makes JavaScript an ideal language for programming or to begin programming is because JavaScript is simple. So what makes it simple? We'll discuss that, but first we'll discuss why your first language should be actually simple. So what is a simple language? A simple language is something which makes you doing work totally in lesser amount of time. For example, if you are able to make a website or an app in let's say 10 or 15 minutes, or for example, if you want to write a code for adding two numbers, you are able to put effort of let's say 10 lines, and for the second programming language you have to add 20 lines, so it makes it two times, right? So it should be simple, the first language which you choose. So one more point which makes a language simple is like you learn by doing. So for example, you are able to learn the language, along with that you are able to make a product out of it. For example, if you are able to learn a language while making a website, or while making a calculator, or while making any app, so you don't spend more time in learning the language and then trying to make an app or making a product, or rather than you do hands-on and you learn as you grow. So there is a difference between a simple and a complex or a difficult language. Is like a simple language, you don't have to deal with other stuff. But for example, if you are dealing with C++, you have to make sure about the memory utilization, how you close the memory, how you open the memory, how you utilize it, and everything else. So when you are making JavaScript or you are using a simple language, you don't have to deal with all that stuff. So that's a good point. You don't have to deal with how you optimize the memory, how you run the program, how you structure it. You don't have to deal with all that stuff in a simple language. But in C++, which is a highly complex, or I would say not a beginner friendly language, you have to learn it. You should learn C++ or any other language, but I don't think so that it should be your first language. These things are important, but when you are a web developer, it's really not important for you right now. Later on, when you will deal with other stuff, or when you will deal with how you optimize or how you make it scalable and other stuff, then you might require this, but right now you seriously don't need as a beginner. So another programming language which people or which beginners tend to start with is Java. Java is an amazing language, but it has its own layer of complexities, which is its type system and other things which are not actually beginner friendly, or which is nothing which you can master in a single day. When you are beginning with a programming language like Java as your first language, you are actually getting delayed to the process where you can make or you can ship code You are even getting closer to a burnout. As a programming fundamentals are something which you have to master and which is actually available in every language which is available. Understanding this extra layer of Java's type system or memory utilization in C++ is completely a different thing and which is not required for a beginner to know, but still you have to learn when you are going through these two languages as your first language. Choosing a simple programming language will get you rid of all this stuff, plus it will make you even easier, or it will be easier and it will be less cumbersome for you to achieve that level which other programming languages also have. So when comparing JavaScript with C++, so C++ is a language which is being used in places where you have microprocessor or microcontrollers, where you have low level or low memory, and you make programs. For example, for inside your TV, the program must be made from C or C++ or any such complex language. Whereas when you compare JS with Java, so Java is a really popular language, and it is being used with multiple banks and multiple companies which mostly work with finance and financial sector. Java and C++ have multiple and more features when you compare with JavaScript, and so it adds an extra layer of complexity also, which you don't want to be or which you don't want to fall into as a beginner. So that's why your first language should be actually simple. One more good part is that you can write more logic in lesser number of lines or lesser number of code in JavaScript when you compare it with C++ and even Java. So another crucial point why JavaScript should be your first language is because JavaScript is really popular and has a very wide community. So to measure the popularity, if you check any job portal, you will get multiple job postings for JavaScript when you compare with any other language in the same sector. So, and even JavaScript has a huge community. People will love to help you, people will love to make you learn JavaScript or learn anything, or they'll even help you do your own work. The popularity of JavaScript does not only reflect in its job posting, but also in the resources and in the teaching or learning resources also. You'll find multiple courses and multiple resources to learn JavaScript or JavaScript related frameworks, whereas in other languages or in other frameworks, you won't find such a great community or such a huge number of, or a huge collection of or a huge array of tutorials and courses. One more point, which is actually an important one: the only language which all the browsers understand is JavaScript. So if you want to do front end especially and writing front end logic, you must know a JavaScript or any JavaScript framework. Whereas in backend, if you know any other language also, that will suffice. But if you know JavaScript, you can write backend code also. When you know JavaScript, you can also write front end as well as backend code. Node.js and Dino provides you such a great environment to make APIs that it's still production ready, and you are like, if you are a beginner, you can still write production ready code. Secondly, even if you want to make apps which are Android, or even you want to make iOS apps, you can make it using JavaScript. You can use React Native, you can use Ionic. So when it comes to a language, when you are starting or you're beginning your career with, I think JavaScript is a really good language which you can start with if you are working for a web or any web related job or any industry which belongs to or serves the web. So there are multiple resources from where you can learn. One of us is Udemy, and even YouTube. YouTube is filled with multiple tutorials which teach you JavaScript or JavaScript related projects. And the best part is, most of the projects teach you how to make an app or how to make a project, and you learn along with that. So please start your journey of being a JavaScript as soon as possible, because this is a booming field and there are multiple vacancies in this field. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel.